Hello, this is James Ferrantino here, and I figured I'd make this video to show you how I put together the song Grungy Grudge, a song that I just posted on YouTube, which if you haven't checked it out yet, please go over there and check it out. I'll have the link for that in the description of this video. So come on, what are you waiting for? Get on, check it out. Alright, if you're still here, I'll show you how I made the song. So basically, as you can see, I've made this song on Logic Pro X, and this is the mix. So I did a master on a whole different project, so this is what I have so far, and I'll play you the intro. Alright, so basically the intro is quite simple. I basically have a piano right here, which is playing an arpeggiation that I played with a MIDI keyboard. And I used Kontact 5 for that, which has piano samples, which sound really good. And to try to attempt to bring that piano more to life, I actually used a very subtle tremolo on that piano with a very low depth percentage. This way, what that does is it slowly pans the piano very subtly just to create a little bit of movement to that piano, just to create a little more interest. So I'll play it right now and I'll show you how it sounds. There it is soloed. I'll shut it off just so you can see the difference. It is super subtle. You see how it gets more crazy? It just, if you have it very subtly, it adds just a little more dimension to the song, just so it keeps it from getting a little too stale. So then, accompanying that piano, what I have here is I have this cool sub intro pad, which I used Massive to make, and I'll play that for you. I'll solo it. There you go. You get a really low, subby, cool pad. It's very like cinematic. Very dramatic. And then layered on top of that sub, I have like this mid pad, which I also used Massive, that really awesome synth, to make. I'll solo that. It's very subtly. And just keep in mind, I believe I automated some of the frequencies. Well, maybe not. I just kept that as is. And then here we have this nice high synth coming in, which I also use Massive. I love that synth. And then it just creates a nice cinematic, like capturing intro. Alright, so I guess we'll carry on to the other part of the song right here, where all the drums and it starts getting more interesting. So here I basically stacked all of my percussion in one track stack. This way it makes it easier to edit. As you can see here, I added like a compressor, an EQ, and all these buses to like almost every single track here. Just makes it easier to edit, less CPU, and etc, etc. So let me go play this part right here. Alright, so there you have it. It's pretty basic. It's basically a cool drum beat here with some piano. And I have a very cool rhythm going on right here. It's a rhythm synth, and I'll show you how I got that. So basically what I did was I actually used the kick as a trigger. What I mean by that is this synth right here, which I use Massive for, has a noise gate to it, which I'll bring up. And what I did was I side chained that kick to this synth. I'll play it right now. See how it like follows the kick very tightly and gives it like this cool rhythmic effect. So I can actually play it for you with this muted or bypass, just so you can hear what it sounded like before I did this side chain. See, basically it's basically just a pad, but what I did was just to give it more rhythm, instead of playing the rhythm, to give it more of an effect, what I did was I just basically used this noise gate, which is a really cool trick to do. And you can actually change like the release, the attack, just to get like kind of different like rhythmic accents. So I'll show you what I mean by that. See how like the release just changes the way it's played? It's like the note is held out a little bit longer before it dies away. But I kind of kept the release very short because I wanted more of like a percussive feel here. So I'll play it all together. Alright, and also tricks that you could do with that too is you can also like automate this stuff just to keep it more interesting. Maybe like what I could have done here is could have started out with like that percussive feel that I wanted and then build it up the release as I went just to kind of create more movement in this track. But I did not do that. So anyway, I have a bass here which I EQ'd, like took a big chunk out of this section here because that's where that kick hits, and I was basically just trying to make some room there. Just so you can hear like a good sub, but you can hear clearly the bass. Just some mixing stuff there. So moving on. Alright, in this section I have a couple things coming in here. I have strings here. And these strings are also noise gated and sidechained to the kick, just to kind of fill up that original like rhythm pattern. Then on top of that, I have a few more leads. I have some like bells, which I use massive for, with some crazy EQing just to get some more mids out of it. Some bells. Got a really cool wide sound there. And then I just accompany it with some like low synths. Sounds kind of like a horn. And a cool like little part that I actually liked what I made here is I made this like delay arpeggiated synth. I used the ES2 for this. I love using the ES2. I just love making my own like little synth things. You can really adjust it with like the cutoff here. Put the cutoff through LFO2 to half a beat or half a bar or whatever, just to make it move more, a little more interesting. Then I put that through the arpeggiator here. Which I just went basically a regular, I did chord cycle 1. And then this is what it sounds like in solo. And as you can see, I have the tremolo here, just to keep it moving. I made the depth a little bit more, because if it, without this, there it is, it's just basically right center, boring. Just moves it a little bit. And then I have that going through some delays here, just to also stereo delay, just to keep it more interesting. And I added that just to get more of like a cool like stereo image out of this mix. And this part goes basically, it continues on, but like some more stuff here is added. I have like a little more of a string pad just to like expand this rhythm a little more. More of an intense tremolo there. Then it kind of goes into this other section here where I have some other lead synths that just kind of expand upon that like rhythm that I have going on and that melody. There you go, just adding more to the melody, try to keep it less stale. And here I also made my own ES2 synths just to kind of accompany that. Let me see here, I got this low lead here. Here I kept it mono, obviously. I didn't go unison because that would have just been like too consuming, the song. So I kept it very basic, mono, simple. Turned up some analog just to get some variance in there, a little bit of a glide. And the cutoff is around here, about 1 o'clock. And chorus. I love using chorus because it just like enhances the stereo image a little bit better. You don't want to overdo it though with too many tracks, because then you can get some phasing and that is not a good thing. So let's play it. Another thing I want to point out is the snares I did. I used like this, like another snare here to give kind of like this echo effect. It's like a slap. And I like varied it up a little bit just to like keep it like not monotonous. So then here in the song I have like, it gets a little slower, like a little bit of a breakdown. Yep, it's just basically like the beginning part here after like this escalation here of like, I guess you can call it a chorus. It just kind of like slows down to where you are introduced to this like, I guess, slow relaxing section. Over here, what I have is I use the Kontact 5 synth to, I think it's a pad. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that is the piano. I should have known it says piano right here. But anyway, here's like the bells pad that I used here. And it's automated too to keep it. I did a low pass filter, steadily increasing, just to create more movement. And I did the same to the pianos here, which I will unsolo. And here's another smooth pad with a little more of like a little bit of a low end mid compared to the bells, just to kind of balance it out. And I have another soft pad here just to fill it up a little more. Just trying to create like a small chill vibe here, or a soft chill vibe. Then after this part, basically it goes back into this big part. And another thing I want to bring your attention to is I made like this little fill over here with the snare. You hear that right here? It's that snare echo that I have, that slap. I used that to make the fill, so it sounded like I like automated the delay. And I'll play that here. See, there it just kind of like smoothly introduced the slow part here. So if I didn't have that, it would kind of be too abrupt. So I literally just added this snare in here just to kind of make this transition a little more smooth. Alright, so there you have it. That's my new song, Grungy Grudge. That is the mix. I also did the master on a different session. Maybe I'll show you guys that later if you're interested. But I hope you got something from this, and I hope you go over and listen to this track that I posted. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe this video. And I'm going to make a lot more tutorials and videos and how-to things. So I really appreciate you watching. And again, this is James Ferrantino, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.